Why'd you click on this video? What compelled you to go and watch a video by a guy with 5 subscribers and probably 0 views? And not just that, but another video about de-digitalization and content addiction and how the YouTube algorithm is ruining your life. Dopamine detox, all this bullshit. Why? Why are you watching another one of these videos? Let me tell you why. It's because the algorithm chose a selection of videos to show on your home screen or on your sidebar, and you check those out, and from those you pick the novel one, right? Because I'm a new channel or you've never seen my channel before, you decided that this would be an interesting video, right? Because the human brain craves novelty, and so you clicked on this, and here you are watching this video, and you don't even know why you're watching it. Here's a fact. You didn't choose to watch this video. You really didn't. You were targeted by an algorithm, and then you were exploited by a trillion-dollar corporation for your attention. That's what happened. Now, I'm going to talk about why the YouTube algorithm, or really any social media algorithm, but YouTube specifically, is ruining your intellectual freedom and is kind of deciding your personality, really. And I'm not lost on the irony here. I understand that using YouTube and using the algorithm to criticize YouTube and the algorithm is a little bit hypocritical, but YouTube is the only social media that I use, and it's a platform for expressing my opinions, and really I'm making this video to hold myself accountable more than I am for engagement or getting views or anything like that. So let's talk about the problem. And I'm not talking about the problem of people watching shorts or watching short form content. If you watch short form content and you spend multiple hours, if you watch shorts in general, you already know that you have a problem and you have to take the necessary steps to fix that, right? And thankfully short form, it seems like it's easier to manage than this. What I'm talking about is a little bit more insidious. It's a little bit harder to fully kill this problem. What I'm talking about is people like me that think that their YouTube feeds are curated, they're refined, they have a good algorithm, right? They appreciate the algorithm for showing them videos that they enjoy, that they find intellectually stimulating. The truth is that having a refined feed or having a good algorithm that shows you non-brain rot shit, that's just being in a comfortable cage. It's not a good algorithm. It's never a good algorithm. It's always bad. The algorithm is always trying to exploit you for your attention, and it doesn't care what it shows you. It doesn't care if it shows you left-wing content, right-wing content, center content. It doesn't care if it shows you content about Linux, computers, about, I don't know. It doesn't care if it shows you fucking eating fruits made by AI or satisfying videos or videos with Subway surfers. It doesn't fucking care. All it cares about is showing you the content that gets you to click on it the most and gets you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the thing, and watch the video to the end. That's all that it cares about, right? That's what it looks. It is to show you the video that's going to make you hooked. Now, you know this, and you don't care, right? Here's the thing. A lot of people think that because they use an ad blocker, because they use something like sponsor block, that Google doesn't care about them. It doesn't matter. So that's why they have this great algorithm. Google does not give a fuck that you use an ad blocker. Even if you use an ad blocker, you're still contributing to Google's bottom line because you're training the algorithm and you're also providing views, providing likes, providing comments. So you're still making money for them. They're still exploiting and harvesting you for your attention. So what's the problem? You already know this. I'm just fucking speaking out of my ass, right? The problem isn't the hours that you waste watching YouTube, and the problem isn't the quality of the content you watch. I could fucking care less about how many hours you spend watching YouTube, and I could care less about what kind of content you watch. You could watch furry porn. It doesn't affect me, right? What I care about is that it seems that my generation, and I guess many other people, right? Certainly you that are watching right now, we're not just being exploited, we're being deprived of our intellectual freedom, our freedom of choice, our freedom of identity, because our interests, our views, our very identity, our personality is just being curated by an algorithm. It's not being organically developed. Let me give you an example. So I'm right wing, okay? And I really believe that the only reason I'm right wing is because the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, started showing me right wing content. And it started showing me extreme left wing fucking lunatics doing crazy shit. And of course, I started to develop this, I guess this understanding of right wing creators, of right wing thinking. And now that's my political belief, right? That's my ideological worldview, is basically created by an algorithm. I didn't organically develop right wing beliefs, is what I'm trying to say. Would I be right wing if the algorithm didn't have an influence on my life? I don't know. But I think the fact that the algorithm influenced my political views and my worldview is so fucked beyond belief that I just had to talk about it. So that's the problem. You don't choose who you are. You don't choose your interests. You don't choose your political views. The algorithm chooses for you. Google, the corporations choose for you. That's fucked up. So what's the solution to this? Obviously, you don't want to just hear about the problem. You want to hear about the solution. So I don't have a solution for you. You got to realize that you're up against the toughest enemy possible. You're up against something that doesn't eat, doesn't drink, doesn't die, it doesn't need, and you're up against something that's just going to get better year after year, year after year. The more videos you watch, the more videos everyone watches, the better it's going to get at recommending shit. And so, it's a difficult solution. And here's another thing. You cannot quit YouTube. It's literally impossible to quit YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is probably the most, YouTube is an incredibly important tool. It's incredibly useful for especially learning, right? I think Nate from the Linux Cast calls it YouTube University, and that couldn't be more spot on, right? YouTube is the place where you learn new things. The problem is it's also the place where you entertain yourself, right? And so the problem isn't YouTube, and the problem isn't watching videos. The problem is watching algorithmically provided content. So how do we stop that? Well, let me show you what I do, my solution. It's not perfect, but it seems to be working. So this is Unhook. It's an extension for your browser, and I'm using Firefox derivative, but I'm sure Chromium has it too. And all it does is really, it just hides elements from the YouTube website. So if you want to remove the algorithm, or at least reduce its influence on your life, you need an extension like this. It doesn't have to be Unhook. I don't care. Just any extension that hides recommended content or hides different elements of YouTube. Since it's everywhere, like the YouTube page is designed to be built around the algorithm. It's designed to be addictive. So, just to avoid temptations, disable it. You're human. You can't will your way, you can't will yourself away from the algorithm. You need some help. So this is the help that you need. So the bare minimum that I would disable is obviously the shorts. You should have that hidden already, but also the recommended sidebar, the recommended content sidebar while you're watching the video. You don't need recommended content if you're already fucking watching something, okay? So remove that, the bare minimum that you can do. What I do, just to go a little bit further, is I disable my home page, right, the recommended page, and I replace that with my subscriptions. So every time that I open YouTube, all I see are my subscriptions, and I can't actually go to my home page unless I disable the extension. I also hide the comments, because often I'll just start scrolling through the comments while I'm watching video to get like more stimulation, since apparently I guess I'm not entertained enough just with the video. So I also disable that. Of course, if I want to read the comments, I do sometimes enable the comments again if I actually want to read them after the video or something. But try to not disable the extension often, because that's a slippery slope and it can lead to you just like selectively disabling it when you want to watch another video. So just be careful with that. So Unhook is a part of the solution, but it's not the entire solution. Now, it's been said a million times, but I'm going to go ahead and say it once more. You have to replace the YouTube habit with something else. Try not to replace YouTube with something like jacking off or playing video games, though. Instead, try to replace it with an actual healthy activity. This can be anything that you enjoy, like going on a walk, riding your bike, reading, writing, playing music, drawing, tinkering with your Linux system, or making YouTube videos. It literally doesn't matter what you do, just make sure it's something you enjoy. Of course, if you don't enjoy reading, don't read. If you don't enjoy meditating, don't try to meditate, okay? Just do something fun that you enjoy instead of YouTube. That's not another bad habit, okay? So that's pretty much it. If you made it to the end of the video, you're pretty much on your way already to freedom. And I wish you the best, and I hope you find peace in your life and satisfaction with your endeavors.